A very good morning to our lecturer and Czech videos. Today, my group members Lim Zishan, Yeoh, and I are going to talk about our resource production. Now, I'm going to pass the presentation to Yeoh, one of my group members.
So for the resource production, our group is focused to the students in year 5 and we will produce the resource regarding to the topic teaching of number and operation. For the content standard that we choose is 6.1 mixed operation and the learning standard that we follow is 6.1.1 which is addition and multiplication. And after the discussion in our group, we decided to use the mathematic learning model to produce the resource, which is Action Reflection Modeling, ARM model. So our group choose the topic based on the DSKB of year 5 and the content standard that we use is mixed operation. So you can see in this picture. And for the learning standard, we only choose the first one, which is calculate mixed operation involving addition and multiplication.
Now I would like to explain the misconception issue that will always happen in this chapter, which is the mixed operation between addition and multiplication. The first misconception issue is students fail to solve the mathematics problems that involve mixed operation. This is said because students are unable to generalize methods that he or she already knows for adding to a new situation. For example, the teacher gives the student equation of 6 plus 7. They know the answer is 13. But when teachers are given the equation of 16 plus 7, the students don't know how to solve. And then the third, the students know the commutative property of multiplication, but they fail to apply it to simplify the work of multiplication. For example, they know how to solve the equation of 9 times 4 equal to 36, but they don't know how to solve the equation of 4 times 9. And then the fourth misconception issue is students know how to multiply but does not know when to multiply, other than because he or she was told to do so or because the computation was written as a multiplication problem. This always happens when students cannot explain why he or she should multiply or connect multiplication to an action with the materials.
Now, I would like to start with the introduction of action, reflection, modeling, which is ARM. As we know that the previous curriculum in Malaysia before, actually it is more focused on teacher rather than the student. And in year 2006, finally Malaysia decided to move toward to the national curriculum specification, which is more emphasize the component of active learning. So this brings to the collaboration of Malaysia and UK, which is make a Malaysia and UK collaborative project. And in this project, there is a pedagogy approach, which is the ARM approach was developed to construct a Bachelor of Education degree program in primary mathematics for the student teacher in Malaysia. And for this ARM model, actually it was designed to support the implementation of the Malaysian primary school mathematics curriculum, which involved the changing classroom practice in learning and also in the teaching. And in this ARM, there are 3 principles were chosen by a group of experienced teacher educator to underpin the learning and also the teaching approach for the program. Now let us see the 3 principles in ARM. For the first principle is action, or also can be said active, which represent the principle that learning involve active participation and active learning on the part of the learner, not like previous curriculum just focus on teacher, but students also need to involve actively in the curriculum to show the interaction between teacher and student. And for the second is reflection, which is a type of thinking aimed at achieving better understanding and leading to new learning by going over the experience previous. And for the third principle is modeling, which is an instructional strategy in which teacher demonstrate a new concept or a new approach to learning, and for student they will learn the new concept by observing. So now for the stage of ARM, there are 5. For the first stage, it will start with identifying a need for action on an issue. So maybe in a discussion, there will be an issue raised up and they will discuss together. And second, they will start to plan for action on an issue, which is they will find the static or find the literature to discover the issue is based in effect or not. For third is they will gathering the information to enable the plan to be released, which is they will gathering the information from the journal or literature and so on. And based on the information, they will start to taking action. And lastly, they will reflecting on the progress and also evaluating the final result. So for ARM, it also can applicate in our resource. For the first principle, action or active, students are encouraged to involve themselves while using the effective resource to solve the question regarding a selected topic, which is by using the resource actively, students able to solve the question easier than they use the traditional method in the class. And for second is reflection. This resource can be used as a tool to reflect students' level of knowledge in a topic and reinforce what they have learned in previous mathematics lesson. So by using the resource, teacher can easily know whether the student had mastered the mathematics skill or not. And lastly is modeling. Teacher will develop the use of resource before and also describe each step on using them toward the student, so the student will be clear on how to use the resource correctly. And in addition, teacher also can provide other example for getting a deeper understanding towards the student about the selected topic.
Next, I would like to show you guys about the resource we use in the pengajaran dan pembelajaran, which is PDP. So the kit that we do is about the bubble cloth, and then this picture is about the kit that we had formed. So to make out this kit, the apparatus and materials that we use is recycled paper with 4 different colors to make up the 4 different bowls. And then the picture is shown at here. And then the second, we use the unwanted or the old cloth to cut. And third, cardboard, ring, marker pen, and the scissor. All the materials that we use is recycled materials. Then the steps to use the kit. First, teachers should explain to students the multiple of value represented by the 4 different bowls. So the orange color bowls will represent the value of times 5, and yellow times 15, pink times 50, and the white color is times 100. So the second step, teachers should explain the rules of playing the kit to the students. First, students are asked to throw the 4 balls into any of the holes. So the picture is like this, and then this video I will show you guys how to throw the ball inside the holes. So throw, okay. The student will throw the balls into the hole until he or she is successful. And then the second, the students when he got the number that she throw in this video, the student throw into 6. So the student need to multiply the number represented by the whole with the value represented by the ball and write the answer on a piece of a paper. So in this step, the student will carry out the process of multiplication. And then lastly, the students need to total up all the values and get the final answer. And this step, the students will going through the process of addition. And then next, stages of conceptual development in mixed operation. So the stages 1, student will comparing between the numbers. Students are able to differentiate between the numbers of multiple value. They know the multiple of 100 is bigger than 50, and then 50 is bigger than 15, and 15 is bigger than times 5. And then stages 2, students able to recognizing number pattern. Students are able to see the difference between each number in the pattern. So for the both 5, 15, 50, 100, they know 5 to become 10 is plus 5. So 5 to become 15, they will experience 2 times of plus 5. And then so on. So by this step, students will know how they can multiply the number by plus how many times of 5. Stages 3, students are able to classifying and sorting. Students are able to sort the place value of each digit in a number after multiplying the number. So for the example, for the orange ball times 5, so the student throw into the hole of 5, then he or she need to take the number of 5 times 5. And then the second ball, the yellow ball times 15, the students throw into the value of 9. So he or she will need to times the value 15 times 9. And then third, the pink ball, the student throw in the hole of 4. Then he or she need to take 50 times 4. And then the last ball, the ball of white color, the value is times 100. Then the student throw into the hole of 3. Thus he or she need to take 100 times 3. And then to get the answer, they need to multiply all the 4 balls, the holes they get, and then the number they got, they know how to place into the place value of each other. For the number of 25, they know 2 is in the place value of 10 and 5 is at the place value of 1. And then for the another example, 135, they know 1 is at the place value of 100 and 3 is at the place value of 10, and then 5 is at place value of 1. And stages 4, students are able to make the problem using the mixed operation. Students are able to total up the values of the multiplication process. They are able to do the calculation abstractly without the help of the concrete object. Their learning is being reinforced. Due to the students it as year 5, thus they don't need to do the concrete way or the representational way, they just need to straight away to the abstractly calculation. This is because the concrete way and the representational way is taught at the year 3 and year 4 before. Thus I say their learning is being reinforced. So in this stage, the student able to make the word equation 25 plus 135 plus 200 plus 300 is equal to 660. This is the abstract word they can be able to make in these stages. So in conclusion, the benefits of the bubble cloth. The students have the opportunity to be more creative and learn things easier. And then second, teachers provide students with a broad understanding of concerning the things of daily use materials. Teachers can use the cheap things or recyclable things to make up the kit and then to teach students about the knowledge. And then third, the cross-fertilize each other and promote high-order thinking among the students by using the resource. And fourth, the bubble cloth make learning mixed operation in mathematics interesting and enjoyable way. Students will get motivated to learn mathematics by getting involved in handling concrete multiplication in the activity. And then the last benefits. This kit actually help the child to involve in the learning by strategizing and reasoning.
So, how does ARM model is applied in the resource bubble club? For the first principle, which is action or active, the action that involved is while throwing the paper ball into the holes to get the number for doing mixed operation. So student will be active in using this resource to get the number and then do the mixed operation. For the second is reflection. By using this bubble clock, it helps to reflect students' ability in doing mixed operation within 1 million when getting random number. So because student is doing the mixed operation by using the random number, if they can get the correct answer at the end, which means that they are master this mixed operation skill well. And for the third principle is modeling. So teacher will demonstrate step by step to the student on how to use the bubble clock before starting this activity so that the student can use it effectively, and finally they can learn the mixed operation well. So I have summarized the point above, which is the bubble club actually is a resource that involves the interaction of students, which is by throwing the ball, and then helps to practice their mixed operation calculating skill during the PDP.
Now I'm going to proceed with the resource in PDPR, which is actually a digital tool. In this game, I would like to apply the wheel of colors. So, as shown in the table here, the color yellow represents 1, orange represents 2, red represents 3, rose pink represents 4, magenta represents 5, violet represents 6, blue represents 7, azure represents 8, cyan represents 9. And here I would like to highlight that there is 3 repetition of numbers here, which is 2, 5, and 9, represents spring, green, and chartreuse colors each. Now, I would like to ask a question. Why don't I straight away use the number wheels? This is because while using these color wheels, it will own students' short-term memory to memorize the number represented by those colors, and may own their skill in quick thinking. That's the reason that I use these color wheels instead of the use of wheels of numbers. Well, now I'm going to show the steps in playing this game. Similarly, there are 4 different values here. However, I would like to use 4 picture cards to represent the recycled paper balls that my friend the musician stated in her kit. And here, I have made use of the website Wheel Design to spin the wheel within it and get 4 random numbers between 1 and 9. Later, students will need to multiply the numbers with the values above each. And finally, they'll total up all the values and get the final answer. Now, let me show a demonstration on it. As you see, here is the number spinning wheel here. So I'm going to spin it for the first time. I get spring green here. So As shown in the table here, we know that spring green represents 2. So let me jot down 2 on a piece of paper first. And now I'm going to spin it for the second time. And now I get violet. And I know 6 is represented by the color violet. Again, I'll jot down the number. Oh, now I see that I've spent it for the third and the fourth time, and both I got the color rose. And we know rose is represented by the number 4. So now I'm going to times these 4 numbers with these 4 card values, which is 2 times 5 will come up with 10, 6 times 15, which will end up in 90, 4 times 50, and 100 each. Which will end up with 200 and 400 each. Now I'm going to add all the numbers up here. So when 10 plus 90 plus 200 plus another 400, so the answer will be 700. So that's the final answer here. Since my teammate Lim Ji-san have talked about the stages of conceptual development earlier, so I will straight away jump to this section, which is benefits of the wheel of numbers. Traditionally, we have been told that this type of spinning wheel is actually a lottery activity, but nowadays we already implied this wheel in education. And actually, the building system here is greatly different from what most people think. Although this building system seems simple, but it is interesting and attractive with its various colors. Why did I apply this number wheels here? Because I found that recent studies did by people has demonstrated that this type of wheel spinning can actually be very productive in students' learning with the assistance of an intelligent tutoring system. Besides, this real-time prediction can allow for early intervention both in system and in classroom for students displaying wheel spinning behavior. I would like to say that the wheel spinning behavior stated here is actually related to the students' luck and their patience in doing the mixed operations. Why did I say this? So, for example, if the students get the number 9, which is the greatest number in the spinning wheel, and they will need to times it with the cards written times 50, then they'll need to do the algorithm out, although they will get a great number. And lastly, I would like to say that this number wheel will benefit students, is actually fits the students' needs and teachers with limited time and resources in teaching the most. Now I'm going to talk about the application of ARM model in wheel of numbers. For the action, Well, it is involved as students or teachers spin the wheel to get the number for doing mixed operations. And for the reflection part, this system actually helps to reflect students' ability and patience in doing mixed operations within 1 million. And for the modeling, of course, teacher will surely set up a demonstration regarding the way of playing the game and show how students may use it in their self-learning. And in here I think that teachers may also introduce some of the websites which students can use the spinning wheel in their study, and thus students can make benefit on it effectively. Now I'm going to pass this part to my teammate. That's all from me. Thank you.
Lastly, I would like to make a conclusion based on ARM model in resource. So there are two conclusions that I made from different view. The first is from student view. This resource can promote independent inquiry and ways of processing knowledge that involve problem solving, critical approaches, and also evaluation. From teacher's view, there are three principles that had been achieved. The first is, as a teacher, I use several resources to make my class active and also able to promote active learning by using this resource. Secondly, as a teacher, I reflect on teaching and let the student to reflect on their own for learning. And lastly, I am being a good model to my pupils. These are the references that we use while produce this resource. So that's all from our group. Thank you.